The pack is a CamelBak TriZip, 5.1 pounds base weight, 34 liters cargo capacity. This is currently the most comfortable 3-day pack that I've ever worn. This pack is pretty recently out of production. I don't know exactly when they started and stopped making them, but you could find these on Amazon up until like a week ago. They're gone now. You can also still find them on eBay. They tend to go between $200 and $300. I found this one at a military surplus store in Indianapolis, and when I found it, I thought it was a Mystery Ranch pack because of the shoulder harness and the TriZip design. Those are patented Mystery Ranch features. But the more I looked at it, I could tell that it wasn't a Mystery Ranch pack either. So it took me some Googling to figure it out. But what happened was CamelBak licensed some of the Mystery Ranch features, and then they manufactured the pack themselves with some of their own additions and modifications to it. In some ways, I think it's a better pack than Mystery Ranch, or some of the features are better, but then I also think that they did kind of a disservice to Mystery Ranch's design with a couple of the others, and we'll get into the details as we go along. The two things that make this pack as comfortable as it is are the waist belt and the Futura yoke, which is a Mystery Ranch patented feature. It basically allows you to adjust the height of the pack to whatever you want it to be. To do that, you remove the plastic frame stay from the shoulder harness. This is what gives the shoulder harness shape. If you look closely at the back of the yoke, you'll see that it's basically Velcro all the way down, and that's what allows the yoke to stay in place. So there's the loop and the hook is down there. You insert the frame piece into the pack, and that breaks the Velcro bond. Then you can adjust the height of the pack to wherever you want it, the height from the waist to the shoulder anyway, and adjust it to your torso. So when you're done with that, you remove the frame piece, and you can actually also use it to remove the waist belt if you wanted to. I don't know why you would want to remove the waist belt on this pack, because it's fantastic. It's very comfortable. It's actually far more comfortable than the waist belts on similar Mystery Ranch proper packs, and I think that CamelBak did a better job on the waist belt than Mystery Ranch typically tends to do. Putting the pack back together is just as easy as taking it apart. Just put the frame sheet back in the shoulder harness and Velcro it up, and that's it. Here you can see a side-by-side comparison of the CamelBak's waist belt and then the Mystery Ranch Scree and its waist belt, and you can see just how much larger the waist belt is on the CamelBak TriZip. I really like it. I feel like CamelBak did a better job on their waist belt than Mystery Ranch seems to do on their 3-day packs. That being said, I haven't reviewed or worn all of their 3-day packs, but the ones that I have seen and worn, I really like the waist belt on the CamelBak a lot better. Moving on to some of the other features here. First thing that you have is a giant hydration pouch. I mean, you could probably fit a 6-liter bag in there alone. I've put a 4-liter in there without a problem, but you could probably get 6, maybe even 10. At the top you have this pouch. It's like I don't know, it's just a pocket. There's nothing particularly special about it. Then you get into Mystery Ranch's TriZip system. Now this is a rapid opening system. Like, it's designed to give rapid access to the pack. You just rip, zip, pull it open. The TriZip feature, so you've got these 3 zippers. The bottom one gets you access all the way down the pack. In the bottom here, you have like a large, I wouldn't call it a laptop sleeve, but that's what you'd call it on like a daily pack or whatever. You've got 2 detail pockets in the side, mesh detail pockets, and you've got some load control straps. On the sides, you have an admin pocket with a place to put like pens and pencils and crap, and then just another detail pocket. One of the things that I don't like about this pack is that they don't have bottle pockets on the side. It was pretty deliberate that they omitted them. I can understand why. It's kind of a marketing thing. Hey, we're CamelBak. You have a giant hydration bladder reservoir. You don't need bottle pockets. What do you need those for? Well, actually, they're pretty good for tripods. You can see in the picture here, side by side with a similar pack. That's got a 60-inch tripod in the side of it collapsed. Fishing poles, rifle butt if you're going hunting. Trekking poles is a really common thing where you'll see people put their trekking poles in their bottle pocket. So, these are really, really common everyday things that you can't do with the CamelBak pack. That's not really true. It has MOLLE webbing on the side of it, and you can definitely lash things to the side of the pack. It's just not anywhere near as convenient, because it only takes 2 seconds to put something in a bottle pocket and tighten a strap around it versus taking paracord and having to rig something to the side of this pack. A feature that I feel that this pack is missing is having something like a radio pocket up near the top between the shoulder blades. You can see the inside of the pack here, and that it has something like a laptop sleeve that goes all the way down to the bottom, and that's fine. But behind that, it should have something like a radio pocket that starts about halfway up the pack and goes almost all the way to the top. The purpose behind that is that you want to pack the heaviest items that you have between your shoulder blades. I don't understand the exact physics behind that, but you would think that you would want to put the heaviest items at the bottom of the pack, and that's completely not true. And when they tell you how to load a pack to carry it well with a heavier weight, typically the recommendation is to have it between the shoulder blades. So it's a relatively common feature for a pack to have a pocket for putting heavy things in up near the shoulder blades. Unfortunately, it's not common enough. I feel that all packs should have that feature. Another point that I want to touch on briefly here is that there does seem to be a major difference in the waterproofing materials and abilities between these two packs. The reason that I'm only going to briefly touch on it is I have a very limited ability to evaluate that. I haven't quite figured out how I would run a test for water penetration. It would probably be something like putting dry stuff in these packs and then putting them in the shower or something, and then seeing how dry the stuff is when they come out. But I haven't quite figured that out, and I think that would be kind of more appropriate to do that with a number of packs in a waterproofing race-off. But there definitely seems to be, if you look at this picture here with the YKK waterproof zipper on the real Mystery Ranch pack, there definitely does seem to be a physical waterproofing difference that's visible, and it seems to be substantial. The first hike I took this pack on was with a friend near Indianapolis, Indiana, at a park called Turkey Run State Park. I've been here a few times, and it's one of the most beautiful parks in the entire world. You wouldn't think that there would be a world-class park in the middle of Indiana, in the middle of cornfields, but there actually is one, and it's there. The hike that we did was relatively casual. I didn't have any of the heavyweight stuff on that I usually do. I just bought the pack a day before or something in Indianapolis, and I wanted to try it out. So I had a 3-liter hydration bladder and a handful of other essentials like socks and some granola bars, that kind of stuff. Nothing major, nothing like survival kits and that kind of thing in the pack. So I would say that I probably had less than 10 pounds on total, maybe 15 tops. We did 7.23 miles. Took about 4 hours, so like I said, we were moving at a fairly casual pace, but the terrain there is very, very rough as well. 971 feet of elevation gain, which you wouldn't think that there's that much elevation gain in the entire state, and I don't think there is, but there definitely is in that park. There's a lot of up and down. It was 88 degrees out, and with the humidity, it was about 98 degrees. Relative humidity felt like 98 degrees. So I drank every bit of that 3 liters of water on that hike. It was pretty intense, but it's some of the most beautiful terrain in the entire country. Turkey Run State Park is, my understanding is that it formed at the edge of a glacier, like a continental glacier that melted there. And it's full of these amazing little canyons. And most of the hiking trails there are not really a hiking trail. What it is it's the solid rocky bottom of a canyon, a glacial canyon. So you're literally walking up and down streams. In the summer, some of the areas can feel like they're air conditioned, but unfortunately, with 7 miles, not nearly enough of them. What I've learned about this pack on the hike is that it's very, very comfortable. Now, I didn't have a lot of weight in the pack, so it was pretty hard to say at that point that it was comfortable, but it wasn't at all uncomfortable the entire day. And given the relatively extreme heat and humidity, I should have really, really been sweating. And given that the pack had a full waist belt, a full rear harness, it was basically a wraparound. I should have been a lot hotter than I was. So it ventilated very, very well, and I was very pleased with the comfort of it and the way that it performed. I wanted to see how the pack would perform with a decent amount of weight in it. So I put a 25-pound bag of lead birdshot into the bottom of it. Again, I wish the bag had a radio pocket. That would have been more comfortable. And then 4 liters of water, some other hiking essentials that I'll usually carry around. By the time I had everything in the pack, it was up to 45 pounds, which is a pretty high weight for a 3-day pack. I went to Indiana Dunes State Park, did a 6.25 mile hike through sand dunes, which hiking through sand is, it's rough. When I lived closer to that park, I used to go there a lot because it was about the roughest terrain in the area by far and excellent physical conditioning. It was 64 degrees when I started out, 91 when I finished, very high humidity. I was relatively pleased with the way that the pack performed. Now, granted, it's a 3-day pack and it doesn't have it's not a frame pack. It's not meant for hauling heavy weight. But 45 pounds is also not that heavy for a rucksack. So I feel like it could have performed a little bit better, if it had a radio pocket like I wanted. The reason that I like it and I rate it as highly as I do for a 3-day pack isn't exactly how it performed carrying 45 pounds through sand dunes. It's more like any other 3-day pack that I have worn would not have done anywhere near as well as this. So again, that waist belt on there really makes all the difference. It's much larger, better built out than the average waist belt on a 3-day pack, but it really makes all the difference. In conclusion, this is my favorite 3-day pack. If I had to take a soft pack or a non-frame pack out, I would pick this pack and I would take it. I have laid out some criticisms of it, but they're pretty hypothetical because I can't think of another pack out there that beats this one. I'm hoping to find one. I have some ideas on how this thing could be improved or other packs that I might be able to buy that would outperform it, but all that's hypothetical. This is still the best 3-day pack that I've found, and it probably will continue to be for a few months or maybe even a few years.